Question: if I asked you which FromSoft game got you hooked to the franchise, what would it be? Did it take place in the world of Boletaria and witness the seeds planted, knowing what's to come? Or fast forward in 2016, where FromSoft released a relentless gauntlet of merciless bosses lying in wait, eager to bring about your demise. On the flip side, there are those who thrived in the dark, and Yharnam, where it beckons you to the night of the hunt, madness reigns and monsters await. Or how about the Forgotten, thrust into the future to master the art of mechanized warfare as steel echoes into the battlefield, while others followed a different path, carved and defined by the way of the sword. Or maybe you were tasked with ringing the two bells that started it all. It's January 2019. I was out of touch with the gaming world. It's been at least 6 years since I played a game, and to be honest, I was ready to get back into it. I heard the news that Resident Evil 2 Remake was recently released and I had to get my hands on it. And so I did. I got the PS4 Pro Red Dead Special, a new 55-inch TV, and to top it all off, I went to GameStop to buy 3 games to build my collection: Horizon Zero Dawn, Resident Evil 2 Remake, and Bloodborne. I bought Bloodborne for 3 reasons. 1, the cover looked really cool. 2, the game was on sale. And 3, I am expecting a dark game. Creepy monsters, face your nightmares, and all that. After beating Resident Evil 2 Remake, I was ready to embark on this journey in this strange new apocalyptic world of robot dinosaurs featuring Aloy. I know, to be honest, I haven't touched or opened Bloodborne since I bought the game. I had watched reviews of how great Bloodborne is, tried to learn the world of Yharnam, witnessed how intimidating these bosses are, rage videos, and thought to myself, wow, I don't think I have the skills to beat these monsters or bosses. They're pretty intimidating. And so I pushed forward and never touched or opened Bloodborne. Can you believe that? Although I had a perfect gem, a diamond in the rough, underneath my nose, this wasn't the FromSoft game that got me hooked. The video game landscape begins to shift in March 2019. Resident Evil 2 Remake sets the tone for the year. Anthem, riding a wave of hype, only to fall through with a lot of problems. Jump Force had a collaboration of various animes combined together for a big brawl, and FromSoft released a new IP. Now, at the time, FromSoft adding a jump button was one of the biggest changes ever seen in a FromSoft game. I didn't understand the magnitude of this change because I had been jumping in video games since Mario 64. However, for Souls fans, this was something new, impactful, and this was something I didn't understand at the time. On the flip side, Sekiro was taking a lot of heat in the media. Many argued that it needed an easy mode. Others shared that players should have the freedom to adjust the difficulty of the game. Regardless of what was said, I bought it. And unlike Bloodborne, I finally played it. And unlike any other game I have played, I died a lot. Not gonna lie, I was ready to quit. Reflecting on bad purchase habits, this might have probably creeped up in the top worst things I spent, if it wasn't for a master storyteller who unravels the mysteries of FromSoft's darkest worlds with insightful advice, deep lore knowledge, and a calm voice guiding players through challenges. He couldn't have said it best.
Sekiro is tough, even for Souls fans. Especially for Souls fans, actually. Your muscle memory works against you in this game.
With the insight and advice VaatiVidya provided combined with trial and error, I finally got it. I was deflecting and pairing with confidence, getting comfortable with the mechanics, learning from my failures, and more. What appeared as an impossible task to overcome bosses that was overwhelming finally whittled down to manageable obstacles that can be achieved through practice. Enduring through this gauntlet of bosses such as Lady Butterfly, the Guardian Ape, the Corrupted Monk, the Owl Father, and then nothing.
Seems you've grown.
Took a break.
If just a little.
It stretched from a day to a week, then to a month, which eventually turned into a year, and I had stopped. Sekiro was a great game. I had plans to come back and beat it, but it wasn't anytime soon. Fast forward to February 2022. After spending over $450 playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and left with a hollow experience filled with regret. I questioned the next era of gaming. The video game market is oversaturated with open world games that demand more and more time with copy and paste content. This was one of the main reasons I fell out of gaming in the past, because games felt more like chores than games. There was no exploration. Games felt bland. Not gonna lie, I was feeling pessimistic about the future of gaming, but my siblings shared news about a game that many fans were waiting. Now, there were so many things that crossed my mind about Elden Ring. I have never heard of this game or announcement. Souls games? I don't have an idea or clue what that is. And lastly, I didn't know FromSoft created Bloodborne or Sekiro. I wonder if Elden Ring is like Sekiro. I can probably parry everything. Crazy take, right? The one saving grace that Elden Ring caught my attention is that it's similar to a medieval fantasy setting. One of my favorite themes in video games. And in addition, it has an open world format that I'm willing to take a risk on. Now, leading up to the release, there were a few concerns about Elden Ring. There were comments such as Elden Ring has a lot of recycled animations. Compared to other games with cooler graphics, Elden Ring looks uninterested. Also, Elden Ring was a reskin of Dark Souls 3. And to be honest, all these comments seem pretty valid based off first impressions, but for someone who hasn't played a Souls game, I don't have anything to base off of. If anything, this seems to benefit newer players such as myself. But, fortunately, hearing the positive feedback of the network test from various content creators such as Fighting Cowboy, VaatiVidya, Iron Pineapple, and many more really emphasized just how much content is packed within a small area, how the world feels alive, the combat is at its best, and many more.
Is they have taken the best parts of Dark Souls and Bloodborne and Sekiro and pulled them all together to create a truly unique experience that I personally think is going to go down without question as their best game to date and possibly as their best game of all time.
Is that, goddamn, the content we have access to in the network test seems like less than half of the starting open world.
Its world is filled to the brim with handcrafted encounters, and the rewards for all of them was something new and worthwhile. In case you couldn't tell, I really liked my time with the network test, and I seriously can't wait until I have the full game. It's not often that a super high profile game lives up to the hype, but fuck, I think Elden Ring just might.
This was enough for me to gamble another chance to see what the future of gaming is headed. Wow. There are plenty of great games that earn a spot in the collection, but only rare few games leave a life-lasting impression, shaping who you are not just as a gamer, but as a person. Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time showed me the potential of how expansive a land can be. In games such as Skyrim or World of Warcraft pushed that boundary and revealed the world. Elden Ring ironically brought a world that is dark and punishing to life. I say that good games will create great and fun experience, but great video games, they'll make you lose yourself completely, being fully immersed in their world. Elden Ring has created one of the best organic experiences I've had for a long time. The combat mechanics in Elden Ring is top tier, and saying that doesn't bring justice to how sharp and precise the combat is. Building a variety of builds or different playstyles and more is just a byproduct of the engineering and intricacies of Elden Ring's combat mechanics. And FromSoftware is truly a master of their own craft. Now, one thing I didn't anticipate Elden Ring was the experience of enjoying it without actually playing the game. In other words, The online community, the memes, funny videos, and more created a full circle moment of how impactful this game was. What better way to connect with others than by sharing painful, stressful stories of Elden Ring, where we can all laugh the pain away, rest, and push forward. And to be honest, I don't think I've ever been overwhelmed in a video game before. The exploration aspect in Elden Ring delivered a refreshing experience. There's just breathtaking moments, entering new areas, invisible walls, secret rooms, traps, and many more. By the time I hit the 40-hour mark, I had to buy 2 more additional copies of Elden Ring. I know, bad purchase habits, but if I can spend $450 on microtransactions, I can at least buy 2 more copies to show my support. I needed to know how they pulled this off. I had so many questions. What did I miss over the decade that paved their way for this success? What drove their unique approach to gameplay design? So, I dove in. I bought the entire FromSoftware catalog and embarked on a journey to find these answers. I was hooked.